You're watching a classic episode of Bass Pro Shops Outdoor World Television.
I got done with that tournament in Minnesota, and I looked in the mirror, and my face was all tan, and my hands were tan, but my arms were white, and my legs were white because I've been wearing like snowmobile suits. It's been so darn cold, and I said, I'll tell you what, I got to go south. The Corpus Christi.
Outdoor World host Gary Parsons is famed for his success on the pro walleye circuits. But for a getaway to the sunshine after a chilly tournament up north, Gary's come to the central Texas coast at Corpus Christi for a try at the big hungry reds of the Laguna Madre. The Laguna stretches 150 miles from the Mexican border to Corpus Christi, and nearly all of that country is shallow, clear, and loaded with redfish. Gary joins well-known area guide Aaron Loomis for a short run to where the reds have been hanging out. Reds feed on crab, shrimp, and all sorts of bait fish. They readily attack an assortment of artificial lures, too, including topwaters, Aaron's favorite way to catch them.
You jumped all over that one, Aaron. It's a pretty good fish.
The redfish is also known as the channel bass, bobtail, and red drum.
Oh, it is a nice one.
But whatever you call these bronzed warriors, they're great game fish.
Occasionally you'll catch them with a couple of spots. See, that one's got three on this side, one on this side. We've caught them up to with 15 spots on them before.
Oh, really?
Spots. What they do is they use this nose, they bury it down into the grass, and that's how they hunt for their food. They've also got crushers deep in there. That crushed shell deep inside.
Oh, these fish do fight. It's not even that big of a fish, and I'll tell you, they like to pull. It looks exactly like a freshwater drum that we catch.
The black drum is a cousin to the redfish.
Uh-huh.
Most people that come down here fish for them with shrimp. But like I said, you can catch them on lure also.
Tell you one thing that I'm seeing that you know, I think people realize that these saltwater fish seem to fight so much more than a freshwater fish. I think that's the truth. That, you know, pound for pound, that's probably a 2-3 pound fish there. You know, you look at it's what we would consider the freshwater counterpart as far as battlers would be a smallmouth bass. There's really no comparison. I mean, these fish, every single species, they just fight so much harder. So, I mean, if you like things tugging on your string, this is definitely the place to come. It's just a blast. I got one. And I'll tell you what, that lure couldn't have hit the water. It felt like it was snagged. Oh, this feels like a good fish, Aaron.
Looks like a nice fish.
He's a cruiser.
These fish take a while to get in.
They sure do. That's amazing. You know, you look at them and they're not all that long, and all of a sudden, wham, they just take off. These fish fight more than salmon do. That is a beautiful fish. It's our pleasure at Outdoor World to bring you special conservation projects and basically to make the public aware of some of the neat things that are going on in this country. We're here today with Troy Williamson. He's a prominent member of the CCA. Troy, could you give us a little bit of an idea what the CCA is and the efforts that you guys put forth?
CCA started in 1978. A group of concerned recreational fishermen started it. The thrust of the organization at that time was to attain game fish status for redfish and spotted sea trout. Since that time, CCA has grown to 15 state organizations all the way across the Gulf Coast up to the state of Maine. This is typical of a CCA project. This started in 1978 by the Corpus Christi chapter, an effort to remove boating safety hazards out of the water and just unsightly debris that clutters up our bays, but I think everyone benefits from this type of activity.
I'll tell you what, since these guys have cleaned up our waterway, I think we're going to navigate down this safe passageway and catch some fish.
Gary's rod is a Bass Pro Shops Pro Qualifier XPS rod, rigged with a Bass Pro Shops Extreme Metal spinning reel and spooling Offshore Angler Extreme Extra line. One Texas angler who's been a consistent CCA supporter is nationally known artist Sam Caldwell, who was named the Texas State Artist last year. Caldwell's art has been a big factor in growing the appreciation of the wild beauty along the Texas coast and of the pleasures of flats angling.
I like that word communicator. To me, that's one of the biggest things we've been able to help with is communication, not just as artists, photography, as well as watercolors, as well as oil paints. It allows the folks in West Texas to appreciate what we're doing and what we're after down here, and they see what the coast is more like rather than their idea of what the coast is like. You're inclined to come to this region and say, "Howdy, folks. I'm looking forward to enjoying my stay here." That's all an important part of trying to help out a little bit and make the coast a little bit better place than when I found it.
I got one.
Is it a good one?
Good fish.
This one looks like a full-grown mama redfish.
Oh, man. I can't believe how powerful these things are.
Reds reach weights over 50 pounds in the open Gulf, but it's rare to see a true lunker so far back on the flats.
Oh, come on, baby.
You may have to come up over here. I'm going to go straight for the motor when I get over here.
You know, I could stand all day long, baby, but I'm not used to having to use my arms this much there, Aaron.
Giving you a good workout?
Yes, it is.
Reds typically spend their first 4 years in the backcountry.
Well, this fish looks to be
There he is.
pretty darn long.
Then they migrate offshore to join schools of other adults, returning to the shallows only to spawn each fall.
That is a big fish.
Here she goes again.
So that's a hog of a redfish. Look at the size of that fish.
Okay, buddy, if I can get his head turned.
Woo! Look at that baby. Oh, look at that baby. Right there. We got it.
Oh, my.
That is a trophy red there, boss.
That was worth coming all the way down here for. Holy man. Look at that fish.
These fish this size are our spawning fish. We call them bull reds. These are the ones.
Like most big reds caught by sportsmen these days, this big female goes back to deliver lots of offspring, assuring that future generations of fish and fishermen will enjoy the vast wild reaches of the Laguna Madre.
That was awesome, man. That was awesome.
That was good.
I heard people tell me how much redfish bite, and I've caught all kinds of fish all over the place, but that fish would have kicked the tail on a king salmon, a big king salmon. And you would have never got me to believe that before we went and got a fish the size that we caught today. You know, it's hard to compare the 20 and 25 inches, but when you get a brute fish on, those fish are monsters.